Welcome back, everybody, to the official podcast of the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, Patrolling in Paradise. I'm your host, Gabriella Ruiz, Public Information Officer here at CCSO, and today I am joined by the one and only Mary Sharp, Community Affairs Technician, coworker, teammate of mine. Mary, go ahead and say hello.
I am Mary Sharp, and I came into Community Affairs last August, and I knew that I would be taking over the senior outreach programs as well as hosting the Citizens Police Academy. We took a good program, and we're making it great. We are revamping the program.
Yeah.
It used to be 7 weeks for the day class, 9 weeks for the evening class, but we've added units and departments to our course now, and it is an 8-week program for the days and a 10-week program for the evenings.
That's amazing. So when you say Citizens Police Academy, because there may be people that don't know what CPA, as we call it, they don't know what CPA is. Can you kind of give like a Reader's Digest condensed version of what CPA actually is?
Absolutely. Our Citizens Police Academy gives our community members who either reside or work in Charlotte County a behind-the-scenes, in-depth look at what we do here at the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, how we do it, and why we do it. We have our participants who come in from all different walks of life. Some come in simply because they want to know how the law enforcement agency works. They don't have very much knowledge, so they'd like to get the in-depth look. Others come in thinking that maybe law enforcement will be a career for them. And so they want to see how we do things and see if they can fit into our agency. And then we have other folks that come in, maybe they're retired, and they just want to figure out how to give back to the community. And those are the people who will oftentimes become a volunteer. And our volunteer services unit is wonderful. I know it sounds cliche, but we couldn't do the events and programs that we're able to do at CCSO without our volunteers.
Oh, absolutely.
I have 2 in the class now. They're wonderful. They've actually helped our presenters when given the opportunity, and they help me as well on a weekly basis. So whatever the reason for someone coming into our Citizens Police Academy, they come away with knowledge, and they get a chance to see many of our units and our civilian workers as well as our certified law enforcement. We have presenters from our cold cases, narcotics, the jail. We have K-9, aviation, which is always a fan favorite, our dive team, SWAT, and
just everywhere.
Everywhere.
That's amazing. You know, I hear you talk about the volunteers, and I was actually talking with Trista, our volunteer services coordinator, and I was telling her that there really isn't a part of our job, especially being in the community affairs unit, as you know, there really isn't a part of our job where the volunteers aren't in it. They are such an integral part of what we do and how we do it. Whether it's, picking up food for the CPA and making sure that it's there and hot and ready for dinner at each night, picking up candy for cops and goblins. I mean, they really are such a bright, shining part of, I'm sure, the CPA and everything we do in the CAU.
They are. And with the volunteers, they get to make their own schedule. So they will let Trista know how they can fit in. What is their niche? How many hours they want to work and when they want to work. And our volunteers with the CPA are fantastic. They come and they help me set up the unit or the room each night. Like you said, they do pick up dinner for me, and they help us get everything rolling, make sure it runs smoothly. But they're also participants, so they get to enjoy with their peers and then help out as well. And that's their way of giving back. And it's a fantastic win-win situation.
So the people that are coming into the CPA, some of them, they can kind of use this as a segue, as like an introduction to the agency, because I know you mentioned the K-9 unit. The K-9 unit comes out and they do a demo. I know aviation, they get to see the Black Hawk, and they get to see kind of the inner workings of really every aspect of our agency. But Cold Case comes and does a presentation. There's so many pieces that I have had a front row seat watching you revamp this program since you came to our team in August. And it's just incredible to see not how just how in-depth each part of our agency really is, but how they work together and how they can be a part of it. I know Sheriff Permel on night one, he comes and gives a presentation on the budget and kind of pulling back that curtain into, and I know you probably have way more information on it than I do, but kind of pulling back that curtain into who we are, what we do, and how we serve Charlotte County.
That's true. Sheriff Permel always starts our Citizens Police Academy. He sets the tone for the entire course. But it's not just Sheriff Permel, it's our entire command staff who come out that first night. And then on the last night during graduation, Sheriff Permel will come back and he'll ask them questions. He'll rate us, and he gives the people a chance to tell him, how did we succeed? Where did we fail? Or is there something we can do to make it better? And we love their constructive criticism. It only makes us better going forward. But a fun story to tell with last week's class in Babcock Ranch, and we just completed our Citizens Police Academy down in Babcock Ranch for the first time at our new District 5 office. And our aviation unit wasn't able to do their presentation when they were originally scheduled.
Okay.
So our chief pilot, CWO Angloff, flew our Black Hawk down to Babcock Ranch, landed in the field, and we had community members coming from all over because they had heard the helicopter coming in.
Of course.
So that drew all of the community, as you can imagine, drew them in to come and take a look at our helicopter. And we allowed them to stay and listen to our pilot explain the program that we have through aviation, explain to them the Black Hawk, how we came to get the Black Hawk, and what we've had to do to it. And it gave the community a really nice presentation on what we do. Mm-hmm. And we have 3 people that actually submitted applications for the next CPA in Babcock Ranch, which will be held in 2027, and it will be our second class.
Wow.
One of the things that we were able to change with the CPA going forward is that we will have dinner sponsorships for our evening class, and we have lunch sponsorships for our day classes. So at Babcock Ranch, we had 9 restaurants and businesses donate, generously I might add, donate dinner, and they were allowed to come in and speak to our participants while they dined.
Oh, wow.
It was a nice give and take, and we were hoping for reciprocity, which has been happening. The owners or the business managers come in and they tell us about their business, where they're located, what they have to offer, who they are, and then give our participants a chance to meet them, greet them, and then in turn go out and visit their restaurants as well.
Yeah.
So it's worked out very well. And our next CPA will be in our District 1 office in Englewood.
Okay.
We will be starting that class in May. It will be an 8-week program during the day, and we will have lunch sponsored by local businesses and restaurants in Englewood.
Okay.
And then our final CPA of the year will be held at our new headquarters administration building, and that will start in August. It will be an evening class, so we will once again be looking for dinner sponsors in our Port Charlotte area. I think it's important to know that with our CPA classes, we like to hold them in our district offices. Mm-hmm. We want to give our participants the chance to take a tour of that district office, see what we're all about, see our buildings, our people, and they get a chance to do that. And it builds a bridge of communication. And we go back to those cornerstones, the integrity, professionalism, and trust. And it's just a nice way to incorporate the cornerstones with our Citizens Police Academy.
Yes. And you know, I do feel like I had a front row seat, just obviously sharing cubicle office space with you and seeing you just shine over the last CPA, kind of like your inaugural as host of CPA, if you will. And it's just so amazing to see, just down to the minute details. I remember before the first class started, I watched you, putting the portfolios together for each member of the CPA that had our brochure and a welcome letter from the sheriff. And it's just so, first off, hats off to you. It's just so amazing to see the detail and how you care so much about this program. And I know CPA is a big part of what you do, but can you talk to me about the other senior outreach type programs that you're involved in?
Absolutely. We have our Take Me Home program, which we have combined with our K9 Cent program. This program is good for any of our residents in Charlotte County who possibly suffer from dementia or from Alzheimer's, our children with autism, anyone who has a tendency to wander. The Take Me Home program and the K9 Cent Kit are wonderful programs, very easy application to fill out, and then that information, as well as their emergency contact or their guardian information, goes into our database. And if someone should wander or gets lost and they call in, and our dispatchers and our deputies are able to look in our database, and immediately they'll see the caution field that says Take Me Home or K9 Cent Kit. And they know that we have an application there with all of the information, their demographics that can help locate a person. If they see the K9 Cent Kit in the caution field, one of our K9 deputies is immediately dispatched to the home where they have a K9 Cent Kit ready to be utilized by the K9, and they can start tracking immediately. And time is of the essence when someone has gone missing.
Right.
But we found that those applications, to have them in place with a current photo, is very helpful. With the photo in our database, if one of our deputies should happen to find someone out on the street or in a location in town, and maybe that person can't articulate their name or their address or their phone number or their next of kin, the deputy can then pull up our program in our database. He can simply type in whether the person is male or female and then give an age range. Maybe he thinks that this woman is between 60 and 80. He can put that in. And then every photo in our database for Take Me Home, K9 Cent Kit, or our senior outreach program will populate. And then the deputy can make an identification of the person standing in front of them along with the photo. And the beauty of that program is it also has the emergency contact's name, address, and telephone number as well. So the deputy can then contact the family member and say, listen, we have your loved one here. Would you like to come pick them up, or shall we give them a courtesy ride home?
Wow.
So that's a beautiful program. We also have our senior outreach program, which is our weekly phone call program. And this is for anyone who is of the age 55 and older, lives by themselves, maybe doesn't have a neighbor that they're friendly with or any family members close, and they're isolated or just not able to get out in the community and participate like maybe they once did. We give them a phone call each week. And now I've been doing the phone calls for 6 months, and as soon as I make that phone call, I don't even get the words hello out of my mouth. And the people say to me, hi, Mary, how are you? How was your weekend?
Aw.
They wait for that phone call. That is their human connection. They know it's coming every week, and it gives us a chance to say, how are you? Is there anything you need? Can we assist you? We have many resources at the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, but if I can't help someone, I know different community organizations and in companies in our industry that can provide referrals and assistance to them. So it's a wonderful program as well. Keep our people engaged with that weekly phone call, and it's invaluable.
Well, you're answering all my questions before I can ask them. That's amazing. But circling back to the K9 Cent Kit and that program. So for anybody in Charlotte County, if they have a child with autism or a loved one with dementia, who would they contact to get into those programs?
They can do a couple of things. They can go to any one of our district offices, and they can pick up a Take Me Home and K9 Cent Kit application. They can also pick up the K9 Cent Kit itself. All of our district offices are open between the hours of 8:30 and 5, Monday through Friday. They can also go onto our website, ccso.org, and they can simply type in the search bar, Take Me Home, and that application will populate. They can click on the link, fill it out, hit submit, and then I receive an email that we have an application.
Now, the K9 Cent Kit, that is, I've heard you explain it before, but it's kind of like a jar of your loved one's scent. Can you talk about how that works?
Yes. Okay. With the canine scent kit, it is a jar. There is a piece of gauze inside. And if we have a caregiver or a family member helping and assisting, there are a pair of gloves inside that kit as well. So the helper would put on the gloves and take the gauze, rub it behind the person's neck, under their arms, simply place it in the jar, seal it. There's a label they put on the jar, and then there's a little seal that makes sure that the jar stays closed. That is a pure scent, and it is good for up to 10 years.
Oh, wow.
It can be placed in a location in the home that is not subject to direct sunlight or direct heat, and you just place it and forget it until you need it. We have a plan in place, and it assists our deputies and our dispatchers should we ever need to utilize that scent.
Yeah, so it kind of sounds like you mentioned, time is of the essence when someone goes missing, especially with, we live in Southwest Florida. There's water all over the place and the elements, especially in the summertime. It's not like there's really time to worry about, how tall are they? How much do they weigh to the exact pound?
Exactly.
So to have this in place, we can have our canine deputy come out, open the jar. The dog can get a fresh scent.
Correct.
And then immediately go on that track and bring your loved one home.
That's correct. And in the past, when a canine deputy and his dog would go to the home, they would try and find an article of clothing or something that simply had the lost person's scent on it. A lot of times, you'll have another family member's scent as well. So they would have to then figure out whose scent is it before they could go out and start tracking. With the canine scent kit, we know it's 100% pure scent. The dog can take that scent and off they go. So there is no time lapse. And it really does help in the search and the rescue of someone who has gone missing.
Yeah. And it sounds kind of wild that the scent would last for 10 years. But I was speaking with somebody from the canine unit, and they explained how a dog's nose works. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like, this is how they explained it to me. It's kind of like when you walk into your home and you've had a pot roast in the crock pot. When you walk in the door, you smell pot roast, and it smells good. Well, if the dog walks in the door, they smell the carrots, the potatoes, the meat. They smell every part of that. So it's good that we have the fresh, singular scent of this person because, like you mentioned, if there's 3 kids in the home and 2 of them are sharing this blanket that supposedly has, their child that's gone missing has his or her scent, it really kind of takes out that margin of error.
Yes, it does. And it's wonderful. I can't stress enough how this program helps our deputies immensely.
Yeah.
And we're lucky to have it.
Exactly. And I'm sure especially for the deputies on the road, because if they're out looking for somebody and let's say that this person is nonverbal or the person with dementia, they might not know where they are or where they came from. They're, in all intents and purposes, they're completely lost. And to have that database that our deputies can use and find their information, find their emergency contact. And I just can't imagine being on the emergency contact side of things to kind of prepare for the worst. Of course, you would never expect this to happen. Nobody plans for their loved one to wander or to go missing. But to have this stuff in place in the event of, that has to be such peace of mind.
Agreed. Absolutely. It is peace of mind to have that plan in place so that it typically with dementia patients, Alzheimer's patients, or children with autism, it's not if, it's when. And to have a plan in place is key.
Yeah. So, Mary, first off, I want to thank you so much for your attention to detail and the incredible work that you do alongside myself and the other members of our team in the Community Affairs Unit. I know that you are such an integral part of our senior programs and now the revamped Citizens Police Academy. And, when our big events come out, Cops and Goblins and Shop with a Cop, you're right there ready to roll with us. We're kind of the one-stop shop unit, aren't we?
We are. And if I could say one final thing, because I have to get the last word. If I could say one final thing, we do have 2 Citizens Police Academies for the remainder of this year. And if there's anyone who would like to fill out the online application,
yes,
simply go onto our website, ccso.org, type in Citizens Police Academy in the search bar and then click on that link. Very simple application. Once they hit submit, I receive an email. Their names will go on my reservation list. And then when we start the registration process, I reach out to everyone who's on my reservation list and we go forward.
You got a big reservation list? It kind of sounds like it.
I do.
Oh, man.
I do.
So if someone isn't, let's say, tech savvy, or if they're struggling with the website, is there an email that they can reach out to potentially get that application rolling?
They can reach out to the Community Affairs email at communityaffairs@ccsofl.net. And once I receive that email, I can reply and send a copy of the application to them via email. They can print it, fill it out, email it back to me, or they could drop it off at any one of our district offices.
Wonderful.
And then they'll be placed on my reservation list.
Awesome. And if anybody had any interest in perhaps speaking with you or getting more information about any of our programs, Scent Kit, Take Me Home, et cetera, is there a phone number that they could call to get in contact with you?
Yes, they can call our main community affairs telephone number, which is 941-575-5260, I believe. And my direct line is 941-575-5345.
Wonderful. Well, Mary, I can't thank you enough for being such a valuable part of our team and a valuable part of the Sheriff's Office. And I know that I'm sure the people in Babcock Ranch were just amazed to have you as their host. And I'm sure that you are going to absolutely knock it out of the park from here forward. Thank you so much. And for those of you listening in, again, that email for Community Affairs is communityaffairs@ccsofl.net. And we'll make sure that we have the numbers that you can contact Mary should you have any interest in any of our programs that she spearheads. Mary, thank you again for your time. It was a pleasure, as always, speaking with you.
Thank you.
We'll see you again next time, folks, on the official podcast of the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, Patrolling in Paradise.